What's up everyone? Now welcome to another video. In this video, I'm going to be going through the concept of imposter syndrome and what that means, my personal experiences with it, but also how to go about combating it. And it's actually a very common thing amongst all of us that perhaps isn't spoken about enough. So the best place to start is actually explaining what imposter syndrome really is. So imposter syndrome is the feeling of being way out of your depth. It's like you don't believe that you deserve to be where you are because you think that you don't have the qualifications, the skills, the necessary experience or knowledge to be in that position. It's almost the state of feeling like a fraud and that you're afraid of being found out or discovered by people that you don't deserve to be there. And it happens in so many different avenues of our lives, both on a personal and professional level. So for example, let's say relationships, right? You might be with your partner and sometimes you may have feelings like, you know, she is way out of my league or he is way out of my league. How did I land this person? You know, I don't deserve to be in this relationship. Or on a professional level, let's say you've started a job and you've been given the position and you have feelings of doubt afterwards, right? Thinking that you don't deserve to be in that role. You feel like an imposter and that you don't deserve to be there. So that's essentially what that feeling is, and it's actually very, very common. So a little stat for you, 85% of UK professionals have experienced and continue to experience imposter syndrome throughout their careers, meaning that they doubt themselves in their jobs. So it's a very common thing that is just not spoke about enough. So let me take you through 3 examples where I personally have experienced and sometimes continue to experience imposter syndrome. And the first one is YouTube and Instagram or social media, right? So what I mean by that is, you know, I'm quite active on social media in terms of posting content around personal development, motivation, success, etc. And it's not like I have a massive following, right? And it's not like I have a lot of experience or wisdom to share. You know, I often think, you know, what other people are thinking about me when they're watching these videos. Things like, you know, how is this 23-year-old making videos on how to live your life or offering advice when he's still in the same process, you know, probably doesn't have much success, etc. And I get that pretty much after every single video. It's a really odd feeling. And to be fair, I mean, you have the right to be skeptical. I am only 23 years old and it's not like I'm some sort of guru that knows everything. Absolutely not. But this is actually a concept that I got from one of Ali Abdaal's videos. I'll put the link in the bio, but he's essentially a YouTuber that talks about productivity. And this video spoke about how he beats imposter syndrome. And he mentioned how there's this fear of people perceiving you as a guru. But in actual fact, you don't need to be a guru, but more of a guide, right? The guru is an expert that knows everything and will be able to educate you on that subject whenever there's an issue. Whereas I consider myself as more of a guide in personal development, professional development, motivation, success, etc. And what I mean by that is, you know, I use other people's ideas, I read, I listen to podcasts and learn, you know, other people's experience and actually pass that on and adapt ideas to you guys so that I'm sharing and serving to a small community, but a nice community where I even have people reaching out to me saying, Nilesh, thank you for that video or thank you for speaking to me, it helped. And if I'm helping one person, to be fair, that's more than fulfilling for me. And I continue to do that. That's what motivates me. Another example of when I experienced imposter syndrome is when I got into one of the best universities in the world in Asia, Singapore. And I was just thinking at the time, how did I, small town boy from a town called Potton in the United Kingdom, end up in one of the best universities in the world in Singapore, Southeast Asia, surrounded by really, really smart individuals, you know, from around the world. So there was a definite sense of being an imposter and not deserving to be there. But in actual fact, you know, I did deserve to be there. I was one of 8 people that got allocated a spot from my domestic university to go on this exchange program. But despite achieving that, I still felt like a fraud. Now, after speaking to other students at the university that had got a place, you know, we got chatting, we went out, and, you know, we became friends. I shared with them that, you know, I felt like I didn't deserve to be there, and I was shocked that I managed to, you know, land a place at this, you know, fantastic university. And what was quite surprising was that they actually shared with me the same thing. They felt the same way about it all. So, you know, after learning that, it was almost a matter of reflecting and almost realizing my self-value. Like, I genuinely put a lot of effort in to get to that point. So I should feel fulfilled, and I did deserve to get that place. And it was quite a nice feeling when I actually perceived it that way. So that's another way to combat imposter syndrome. Almost, you know, realizing your worth and reflecting how you got there. And that essentially explains why you got there. The last example I'm going to share is related to my job. Now, when I finished university, I was applying for roles in a variety of different industries. All I knew for a fact was that I wanted to be in a client-facing role, whether it was in consulting or in sales, right? These were the 2 different avenues that I was looking at. The technology industry was one that had interested me in my final year of university, so I was applying to various companies in the information technology sector. And I managed to, you know, get a job at a place after, you know, some tough interviews and recruitment processes that involved, you know, quite a few interview processes and also assessment days. So I landed this position and was ecstatic about it. You know, I was really, really happy about getting this job, and then realized that, you know, I was actually questioning myself. How did I get this job? You know, do I deserve to get this job? I have no prior knowledge really of technology or the industry. And, you know, I'm going to be stepping into a role that's going to involve, you know, selling IT solutions. So there was obviously a sense of doubt, you know, after a few days of genuine happiness and excitement. So how did I go about, you know, circumventing that and realizing that I did deserve it? And again, it was a matter of actually realizing that this company had decided to invest in me, right? They saw an opportunity and potential value in me to be able to offer me a job because, you know, they thought I was a worthy candidate, and I had to put that in my mind. I had to think of it that way, right? I did deserve to get that job because out of, you know, many candidates, they selected 4 graduates in total, and one of them was myself. So you just have to put that in your mind and remember, you know, the work you put in to get where you are. And that usually can justify why you deserve to be there. But in the professional landscape, it's so common to have it. You have industry professionals and really experienced people who get imposter syndrome all the time. CEOs, you know, imposter syndrome is one of the most common experiences that CEOs have. Despite years of experience and, you know, knowledge, they get the feeling of being an imposter and not deserving where they are all the time. So imposter syndrome is certainly something that needs to be spoken about a lot more. I hope this video has actually helped and made you realize that perhaps you're not the only one that experiences these feelings. It's very common. But I think the best way to kind of tackle this problem is actually speaking about it and realizing how universal it really is. That being said, I hope you've enjoyed the video. Please share, like, subscribe, all that jazz. And I look forward to seeing you guys in the next video. Ciao.